Hi and welcome to this week's YouTube vlog from me at Barton Burner Services, and I hope all you bobbers are keeping okay. As always, thanks to everyone that's subscribed. Again, we seem to be getting more subscribers than ever and we are really appreciative, so thank you very much, keep them coming. And we had some great comments as well, and what I like most about the comments last week, it wasn't only about the vlog last week, it is about previous vlogs that go back a year as well. So excellent stuff, thank you very much. Moving quickly on to this week's vlog, we are doing a service video, but this time it's a Arga. Now it's quite hard to do Arga service videos because there's bits I want to show you and there's bits that really need to be left to the experts, and unfortunately, because there is professionals that watch this and obviously DIYs as well, i.e. the general public, we have to be a little bit careful what we put on there, because unfortunately with an Arga it's very easy to set them on fire and then you have a bit of a problem. So reference Argas, there's so many versions of them, but I'm going to stick to a very straightforward, conventional, non-converted Arga cooker with what they call a shallow well burner. You can get variations of burners, variations of sizes, conversions, non-conversions, there's plenty of them, but I'm just going to concentrate on that one item. So that's what I'm doing. I'm going to get on with it. I've got Isabel. Morning, Isabel, there she is, and let's get on with the vlog. So we are here. Look at that, Isabel, look what I've just serviced first. Here's the Sapphire. There we go. Okay, so I'm just going to go through the basics when we go to the Arga. Here we've got a single skin oil tank. Okay, it's too close to the boundary there. It's too close to the boundary there. It's sort of on a base, but it's not the best in the world, and it hasn't got its hasn't got the concrete base on the floor. I've checked the filter already. In a perfect world, that should have been done in one with the extra joints, but we're just picking things really. But yeah, I've gone all over that tank. We did put a video out the other day how to check a plastic tank, which I've done on there. It's fine. Clearly this is all too close. Okay.
Oh, sorry.
That's Isabel, she's not very well.
Sorry.
And obviously you've got a bush growing through the base here. Can you see it, Isabel? You've got a bush growing through there, look, beside the tank, so obviously that needs some attention as well. So we'll be doing a CD14 for that one. Right, let's go to the Arga. So as I said in my intro, we are doing a purpose-built one, so it's a little bit different to the conversion ones. This is much easier. I explained a lot about that in the intro as well, which you'd have just seen. Right, voila. So this is the 2-oven Arga, conventional 2-oven Arga. It's really good. So the first thing I do is I have a basic regulation check. I look at the flow control down the side and I see if that's got a fire valve above it, the capillary it has. I then look inside the Arga cooker. There's one here as well. I know this, to be honest, because I've been doing this Arga for a few years. Okay, the next thing I look at before I go any further is I look for like basic stuff, like in here, I give this a wipe. There, is that black? That's actually dirt from the oven, but that's not black from soot, so we know there's no issues there and stuff like that. I just check basics like here, the thermostat, to make sure this hasn't broken here. And then I just look at the basic condition of the flue here. If you grab it, it's absolutely fine. It's not moving. All the fastening's where it's supposed to be, so that's good. I check the seals around here. They're a bit crispy. So I'd probably suggest that next year it has some, they're getting a bit tired. I will mention that to the customers shortly and see if they want any, but they probably won't. Okay, we then have a little look under here. Make sure you've got plenty of wadding, so you just put your hand down here. And as you can see, there's plenty there. Again, next year might just want to put a little bit in there. Okay, and on this side, as you can see, there's plenty in there. I can push it down a bit there, but there's plenty in there, that's fine. So on the purpose-built ones, we have no need to take the hob out unless we're actually doing work on them. Okay, it's a little bit different. On the conversion ones, there'd now be a big hob here. We have to either get our lifter or our hands, and we lift the top out, and that's how we work on it. But we want to forget about that. I will do a vlog on conversion Argas another day, Isabel. Right, so let's crack on. Let's get in here. You don't need many tools for an Arga, especially purpose-built. Don't forget the knee pad. Got my sheet down, my favourite bath sheet. Okay, look. Little doggy.
Aww.
Say hello, little doggy.
Hello.
There you go. Okay, it's because this doggy wants his Arga on, to be honest with you. So we lift the front out like so, just get hold of it. Lift towards you. Check that seal there. and that is fine. So we can comfortably lay that down out the way. Next thing's next, we're just going to undo the oilies off. Okay, we're just going to undo that nut there. Don't just stick a spanner on here like this and go like that, because you'll bend it there. So you need to put a pair of grips on it as well, or 2 spanners. There we go. Always put some tissue underneath, just in case you get a dribble of oil. And clearly there's a lot of people that do Argas when they're hot, but you can't do the checks properly when they're hot. So I always advise that the customer turns it off the night before. Okay, so this is called, we call it the bungee tube, some people call it a carbon leg, what we're undoing. So you pull it back, lift the burner and gently slide out. When you put it down, put this bit onto tissue in case there's any oil. Right, there's your basic burner, it's a wick burner. This is a 6-inch burner. On the top here you've got the burner plate, which is your main number 6 burner lid, which is in fair condition. There's no corrosion really in there yet, and we'll clean that in a while. And then you've got 6 shells. So with the shells there's an important way these go back, but I'll show you when we put it back together. So as I take them off, what I'm going to look for here is, I know it's got holes in it, but we're going to make sure there's no corrosion between the holes, otherwise it'll cause what they call secondary air and it won't work very well. It'll create smoke basically. So that one's alright, that one's fine. That one's fine. I do get a bit misshapen, but there's not a lot you can do about that. I know this one's fine because that was new last year. Okay, so wicks we're going to change, so we'll forget about that. Here's your plug in the middle, we just lift that out like so. Okay, that's fine. And you'll see there, Isabel, there's obviously it's starting to carbon up inside. So what we're going to do now is we're going to flick it over. We're going to remove this carbon leg here, because the most common place that these carbon up when they go out is in this elbow here, in this hole here, and obviously in your bungee tube here. Before you take that right off, we are going to mark it to make sure it's in the right place. Before we go any further actually, because we're trying to video this, we're trying to be quiet, I think we're going to pop this light outside and do it outside, Isabel, because the customers, one's on the phone in a meeting and the other one's got a client, so we're just going to pop outside and continue, so we'll be back. So we're outside and we can talk. Right, okay, so Mark. And it's raining a bit, Isabel, isn't it?
Yes.
But that's okay, we seem to be doing anything in the rain at the minute. Okay, so we just undo that, we've marked it as you can see. Oh, that's a bit tight. Need to undo that a little bit more. With just a spanner that I've left in the house.
Oh
but
my
it's okay.
goodness.
It's all good, we have a spare out here. Right, here we go. These can be a bit tight sometimes. If they get too tight or they don't do it properly, throw them away. Simple as that, right. Okay, so I'm going to look down there. As you can see, can you get that hole there? There's a bit in there, but not a lot, but you can't really get that, can you? Okay, so we'll lay that down. Okay, so the next thing we're going to do is we are going to clean this. Now, just to quickly tell you the difference between purpose-built and conversions, this is a purpose-built because it has this tray here. Okay, this tray is what slides into the Arga, the burner's inside it, and this is all preset by us. We've done this. So basically, imagine that in an Arga. Imagine you have a flow control here with the oil in it. Have you got that, Isabel?
Yes.
Yes, you have. It looks like you're facing down. Okay, and then there's a level, and the level in the float control obviously maintains the same level inside here. Okay, and that's how it works. So this is all preset by us. It means we can just keep sliding it in and out all the time, and we don't really ever have to check it unless we have a problem. With a purpose-built one, you get this lump only, and it sits on a peg, and then you have to depth it, level it every time. So unless you've got a problem with the Arga, pretty much you can just take this out, give it a clean, put some wicks in it, stick it in again. Okay, it is literally as simple as that. But with a conversion one, you have to do so much more. But as I say, we'll do one on a conversion Arga another day. So I'm simply going to get a screwdriver out, like so. Okay, I have a variety of screwdrivers because we love a variety of screwdrivers. Okay, so this one here is slightly bent and it's got a kink on it. This is what I used to go around here like so. Loads of people use different things, but this is what I use, and as you can see, that's just going to go around there like that. And then that would also break that out. I then use this screwdriver to break this out as well. I use that down there like so. I use the next size down screwdriver to poke in there and to poke through there. If it's too hard, very occasionally I will use a drill, but you have to be very, very careful. And then once I've cleaned all that, there's some wells between here, so it's like holes. So when the oil comes up here, it goes through a hole here, it goes through there, through a hole here, through there into the outside. You have to make sure they're clear as well. So to do that, I basically use, I'll go and get it, Isabel. I basically use a drywall saw that I've just modified and made the end a bit different, and then that just basically cuts through there like so. And then I can do that, go back some fours and clean it, and I do all three there. So I'm just going to give this a good clean. We'll be back. Okay, there you go, Isabel. Clean. All right. So I didn't need a drill bit on this one, which is good. Okay. The only other thing is where your shells that go on the actual burner itself, make sure you clean here. So you've got to clean around this bit here, and then again around there, again around there, and again around the outside. So make sure you give them a good clean as well. All right. Anyway, that's done. I've cleaned the tube as well on the inside here, so that's all nice and clean. Okay, on the old tube there. I blow through it. It's fine. So what I'm going to do next is the old PTFE that's on here, I'm going to cut it off, and I'm going to cut it off, and I'll be back. Okay, so I've cut that off there. I've inspected them olives, they're absolutely fine, and I've cleaned them. And what we're going to do now is just we're going to tape them on. You don't need to paste this, just a tiny bit of PTFE. It's just so it snugs up and doesn't leak oil by it. So all you need is literally a few turns like that. Make sure it's tight like so. And then we'll do exactly the same on this side. Pull it like so. Sorry if you can hear the odd car, because unfortunately, yeah, this is a car park what we're in at the moment, so it's not ideal. So as you can see, I've put the PTFE on, that's fine. Okay, I've checked my nuts, they're not out of shape, they're not cracked, they're absolutely fine. Okay, so again, we're going to push in, we're going to line it up again, and we're going to do it up. Like I said earlier, sometimes they're a bit tighter than other times. That isn't tight, it's just making my life easier. That's the thing when you have brass threads, sometimes it's a little bit tighter. And the trouble is you have to use an adjustable, because unfortunately it's not a particular size this. You think it's a particular size, but then you use a span on one side, it's fine, on the other side it's not. So, okay, now it's done up, I'm literally just going to go nip. That's it, that's all it needs to be. Alright, so that's that, all done absolutely fine. We're going to turn it over. We're going to put the wicks in it, because you need to put wick in it. So wicks are cut, you can buy them ready cut, I never do, we make them. And there's a difference in burners. You can have what you call deep well and shallow well burners, they're cut differently. If it's a deep well, they're bigger spaces you cut. This is a shallow well, so it's going to be slightly different. Okay, so first things first, you lay it in. There is a folding technique to do this too, rather than mark it for you to cut it, but I'm just going to mark it. You'll see what I'm on about in a minute. These are electrical cutters. As you can see, they cut really well. Now, a lot of people just leave it like that, and that's no good, because it will end up carboning the agar up quicker. You have to cut the gaps. Let me just... like so. So, I've lined both the little joins up where there's a well that goes through, and now basically I'm going to mark it. Okay, so we're going to put every single well that goes through is where I'm going to mark. So we've got one here. And I've just put in small marks on there. This is the most accurate way of doing it, and then you've got no issues. So all you basically need to do now is, this is the end one, you just go up slightly, you go along, and then we're off. So these are just very small cutouts on these. On here it's got segments. I just go along about 4 or 5 segments on here, that's what I do. Okay, so I go in, along 4 or 5 segments, and down again. Same again, in, 4 or 5 segments, and out. And now we've got an aeroplane, so we're doing well with the old traffic, errand floor, aren't we?
Errand floor.
Yes. Okay, air and land. Right, okay, there we go. So that's that one, and you can see I've cut both the bits on the end, so it's like that. Alright, so that's number one. I'll just do number 2 now. These haven't got to be quite so big, the cuts on these, so I just do them like 3 of the little notches as I explained. Okay, so again, they just line up at the end. We're just going to hoover that off quick. Okay, so when we put this back in the Aga, obviously I'll face it your way, that's going to be facing you. So what we have to do is, with the inner wick, we have it so the cutout lines up with the oil way, like so. And that's going to face you that way. Okay, and then the other one is going to go facing away from you, like so. So that will settle in when it's wet. The reason we do it like that is if we had that cut out there, because that's where you light it, it can then flick up and create secondary air. So that's why it's good to have a solid bit of wick there. Okay, so that's the wick back in. We're now going to go back inside again and put the rest of it back together. Okay, what we're going to do before we go any further, now we're back in here, is I'm going to get a hoover. I'm going to clean around here. I'm now going to lift this out. So you get hold of it, you lift and you pull. And that's the bottom of the flue there. So I'm going to be cleaning that there. And then lift that part out. And I'll be cleaning down inside there. That will be cleaned. Okay, so that will get cleaned with hoover. I'm then going to undo the doors, oven doors here. I'm going to hoover both of them out. And I'm then going to hoover it inside here, hoover along the front here and give it a general clean. And then we'll be back.
Spotless.
Put the offset plug back in, make sure it spins, which it does, it's fine. Right, so the shells, as you can see there's a line, a mark, that's a joining mark there. This one will face at the back. Make sure it's okay. This one, joining mark, remember I've inspected these already, goes to the left. This one, join, goes to the right. And then obviously you can't get that one wrong because you've got the chain with the front, the little lighting port at the front even, which is like so. Push them down firmly, make sure they're down properly and you don't get any secondary air. You're going to plonk the lid on the top, like so, push, it's fine. Now, this is important. When you put it back in, you mustn't knock these shells. If you knock these shells and you knock them out, then all you're going to do is light it and then you'll be back to my shake the soot out of it. So the best way to do it is just to hold it like so. Get as far as you can until you can touch the burner on the base at the bottom. Hold the back, slide very, very gently without touching anything. And then it's just a case of putting your nut back on again and doing that up. It is as simple as that. I'm going to do it up and then we're going to go into the cupboard, Isabel, okay?
Okay.
So we're in the cupboard, you can see that. There we have a flow control there. So basically the flow control is what regulates the oil to go inside the Aga. Now, there's a very set procedure to that. On the top is an electric top as well, which obviously also adjusts the flow into the Aga. I'm not going to go too deeply into this. The reason being is because it is pretty technical. I will do a vlog on this which just explains this only another day. The reason I'm doing that is because, to be really honest with you, we don't need DIY people going inside there. And I know there's a lot of professional people that watch this, so maybe I'll do it somehow another way on request another day. So basically I'm going to take the top off, the electric top off. I'm going to remove the electric top. I'm going to take the top off the flow control. Inside there is what they call a metering stem. I'm going to clean that. I'm going to check the little filter inside that boat-shaped control there, and then I'm going to put it all back together. This will then in turn, once I finish that, I will then push this button down here, which obviously activates the oil to go inside the Aga. We will wait 20 minutes and we will be back. But as I say, I'm not going into this bit today, but another day I will do a full vlog on just these only. Okay, so we've just done something by mistake, haven't we, Isabel?
Yes.
Because to be honest, we was recording a short. So if you look here now, what you're supposed to do is lift your lighting port up here like so, and then you're supposed to get your match, okay, that's now lit, pretend, and you're supposed to put it in the bottom of the hole like so, and then basically it lights the Aga, as you can see. And then once you've done that, you must shut down that lighting port. Okay, as you can see, it's perfect. If you haven't quite got it in the right place, it produces orange, and then that will set the Aga up. Just put that there nice and neatly. Okay, once we've done that, we're going to get the door. We're basically going to pop the door back in again. Okay, I'll straighten that in a second. Actually, Isabel, that's not in. Let's go again. Put the door in like so, okay, and then basically that is it. That is your lit Aga. What I would then do normally is I would check low fire, high fire on the thermostat up and down and stuff like that. But like I said to you, I'm not going to go into detail of that, unfortunately, because I'm going to do that with my flow control vlog another day. Okay, so that's it. Back to the van. And that's it. That's this week's YouTube vlog. Ching! Done for Button or Burner Services, and I hope you enjoyed it. So there we go. A very basic Aga service. I just wanted you to see how to clean a burner, how to light it correctly, how to cut wicks, etc, etc. As you're aware, I didn't go into the flow control. I didn't go into depths, levels, how to flow rate it, anything like that. That's something for another day. So there we go. As always, feel free to subscribe because it's totally free of charge. And for the people who haven't commented before, have a go. I always reply to them. It'd be nice to chat to you. So there we go. It's supposed to be not a bad weekend this weekend, so that's all good. So whatever you're doing, have a good one. And until next time, stay safe. Aga cooker there. Just a basic clean of the burger. How to... just a clean...